NRG coming out on top in Game 7, and I truly believe that we are going to get that Game 7 in this matchup because both of these teams are not only so good mechanically, but they're just so good consistently.
They truly are. NRG, well, you know, on the pre-show yesterday, they got a little flack for being consistently uncomfortable as a team against other squads. When it comes to playing against EnVy, well, I believe they've played 15 times now in Season X. These two squads, so they're extremely familiar with each other, and they don't play against each other like they play against any other team in North America. That's why this has turned into such a fun match to watch, as NRG get the first few rebounds off the backboard. Garrett can't really get by Atomic, and he'll play it out to the corner.
I mean, Atomic is going to be huge for EnVy. He's so mechanically sound, and he's so stiff up on that back wall, as we just saw him cut in between that shot going in the net as NRG forced back in their own half for the first time in this game. They did a great job with the first 45 seconds keeping pressure, and they continue that pressure here as Garrett G pushes into the box, gets a bump on Turmo, a demo as well, and Justin's gonna poke this one up, but can't do much with that as the ball sent right back towards midfield.
That was an excellent touch from Mist to get that, feed that ball to Turbo towards midfield. Having that one challenge that Turbo sneaks by off the post, and it bounces right into Mist. EnVy take the first strike.
That's the hard thing about these shots. You're expecting it to go wide, and it bounces the opposite direction, right towards the center of the box. You saw Justin trying to backflip to get that save, but a little too late as Mist puts the first one in for Team EnVy.
And Mist is the next guy you gotta watch out for on EnVy. Atomic, he might be the flashy player, but Mist, he has his bright spots, really more than just spots as well, especially when it comes to defense and just third man in general on offense. It's really hard to get the ball away from. He's so good at striking and just Mr. Reliable for EnVy, but this one sneaks through the EnVy defense and Justin picks it.
Just great positioning here from Justin, reading this 50-50 and sneaks in, fires it between Turbo and Atomic, and just 4 rotations there on EnVy's side as they had 2 up towards midfield line and no one back on defense as NRG quickly tied this game up. And I like to see this in game 1. Both teams seemingly firing on all cylinders as Justin has to get up and put that one away, but Turbo gonna have an easy one there, and he lets the strobe lights go.
Oh, what happened to NRG on this play? Garrett was expecting that ball to push a little farther forward. Justin was playing the loss on the challenge, and he had to get a clean touch out. Otherwise, that ball was heading right back into the net, which is exactly what happened. Justin couldn't quite hang on to that ball. He was working on in a low boost situation, and like you said, Subi, EnVy punished.
You know, and I really think a lot of NRG's success is going to rest on, oh my goodness, this coming off of the backboard. What a read by this kid.
Little tip tap from Mist off the back wall, and just off the wheel is all you need for a redirect. It doesn't have to be complex. Elegance is what we asked for on the pitch over anything else, and that was excellent from Mist. NRG getting pushed back a little bit in game 1. And they didn't look, you know, yesterday, Subi, how they got here playing against G2, they hadn't looked the cleanest in the set against G2. They had some of their issues. Justin, yeah, he popped off and did Justin things as usual. But Garrett makes a nice move, and that's really the other thing that was missing from NRG and where the struggles came yesterday. But Garrett picks a clean one here.
And it's just the speed to get up to get that last touch there. Right after his wheels touch the ground, he immediately jumps again to get that pressure behind the ball. And you can feel the sense of urgency here from NRG. They don't want to go down in game 1. They know how hard it is to take Team EnVy down. And you can't just give them freebies as Atomic launches that one towards net, and great defense from Swishy. And speaking of Swishy, Jorby, wanted to bring him up because I feel like a lot of this match rests on his shoulders. If NRG is going to be successful in not only beating EnVy, but going all the way to the grand finals and seeing that come to fruition, he's got to be successful, and he's got to be the one coming up with good passes to Justin, good passes to Garrett, but more importantly, we need to see some offensive production from him today.
Yeah, Squishy yesterday, I felt like did a pretty good job in the challenge game, specifically in opening up lanes for Justin and Garrett. I'll have to pick up a save here, and he does so well. Garrett will follow it back up. So looks pretty good. NRG have stabilized after the quick 2 mistakes that let the ball kind of just trail right into the net for EnVy.
This is going to be dangerous for Turbo as Justin got a great demo and Garrett almost got the dunk. And Squishy going to maintain pressure here in the blue half. Justin a little slow bait out, but Mist reads that accordingly. And NRG starting to ramp up their pressure, but Turbo surveys the field well and gets a long clear downfield. I don't think anyone was expecting it to roll all the way down to that corner.
Now Garrett pulled off on the play, was happy to let it roll into him and get the ball back downfield. So while they did have to give up some ground, they gained it right back. EnVy having more difficulty finding consistent presence in the orange half. They're not getting nearly as many rebounds. They might get one here from Turbo, but Garrett covered the angle pretty well. Can't get the ball away from Mist though. Justin plays it back around to the side, and NRG, they lost a little bit of time. They started that push with 1:30 left, but tons of time has gotten chewed off the clock, and now it starts to crunch as we head to the 30-second mark.
Yeah, and that's all because of Atomic. He realized, hey, that third man back got demoed, so that means he's going to spawn all the way back on our defensive line. So I can push forward almost free here as Garrett gets a good challenge there, and Squishy going to follow it up. Great pass to Justin, but just a little too far forward. Justin couldn't find the angle to put that one on net, and NRG going to have about one more push downfield here to work with to try and tie game one up.
Next push from Garrett to Justin had to follow closely, and he's got nothing left. So Squishy has to buy a little bit of time and try to get everyone set up for one more push. Justin gets a solid challenge in midfield to start, but Turbo slips under Justin, can't get right over Garrett. Might be a chance if Mist can't handle the ball. Justin keeps it up, but Garrett can't get back around to it, and EnVy take the first game.
And Atomic bumps Squishy on the back end to make sure he couldn't catch that ball. Great heads-up play. Atomic, he just had his head on a swivel the entire time, and his presence of mind there to realize what's going on the field off ball. So crucial here to Team EnVy's success, and a very close game one. I wouldn't have expected it any other way. But NRG gonna have to do better here in game two, and I think it's gonna start with their offensive pressure. We saw in game one here, the first 45 seconds really started out well in their favor, but then the pressure just seemingly crumbled.
Yeah, and I felt like Turbo was at the center of all of that. I know you mentioned Atomic and absolutely had that value, but especially at the end, Turbo had a couple of nice carries. He had some of the long clears that killed a lot of time in that final 2 minutes for NRG. And then that last little dip he had where he kind of moved under Justin under his own corner, forced another 50 out of NRG, basically forcing to work for every inch that they won. And full team effort, though, from Team EnVy overall, Subi. NRG, they had some good ideas moving down the pitch, but like you said, the consistent offensive presence just isn't there right now.
And I didn't really see many team plays trying to come out from NRG in game number one. It just seemed like, just throwing shots at net to keep Team EnVy honest. But hey, they're being honest. They're getting the stops. And now you've got to be creative here and change things up. You can't be linear and just show your hand so often like, hey, we're just going to throw a shot on net. Like a great pass there, but Justin was too far forward. And Squishy just bites on that challenge and keeps the pressure in the blue half. Great demo by Atomic.
And the earlier play for Justin, he was expecting Garrett to kind of run that around the corner and maybe that ball gets challenged and he's ready for a quick follow-up. But Garrett ended up going completely down on it. The ball ends up going completely down into NRG's net off the challenge from Mist.
Definitely one of those ones where, hey, don't expect that to happen. But when you're cheating up like that, Garrett G, you expect the unexpected. You got to sit in net when that ball is still in your half. NRG thought they could try and sneak out, and they got caught sleeping.
EnVy happy to take the first goal again. NRG almost tied it up quickly there. Don't really have a way in. Now Garrett gets the bump and another demo, and Justin will collect. So they convert off of a physical play, all tied up.
And that's just a poor clear there from Turbo. Hands it right over to Justin, and the heads-up play to get that demo opens up everything. And that's one thing you do not want to allow NRG is Justin to get those easy shots and see that ball go into the back of the net. Because once he visualizes it, those double taps just get easier and easier.
Oh, Justin tried to hop that mistouch. He was ready for it. Garrett ready for the boomer that came his way. He's going to take his own pass and score. NRG take the lead.
My goodness, Garrett G coming out of nowhere for this shot, and there's no pressure on that ball in midair. You're going to allow him to take that shot from the top of the box. He's going to rattle that one home, and NRG turned this game on a swivel.
Catching EnVy on the ground. And NRG going to push again on the kickoff. Justin has the read off the corner, but Squishy was playing the same side, so couldn't get around the ball and just had to stay flat. But he locks Garrett up for a shot, but can't quite get the double. Justin forces the next challenge against Atomic. Off the ceiling, Turbo's first to it, and NRG going to have to look for a new path as Mist takes the ball.
Yeah, it's just poor play there from Squishy in midfield, just basically turning that ball over. And a great pass from Atomic to Mist, and Mist goes far post with a shot to tie it up.
Atomic, again, in these attacking corners, just always finds a way to shell that ball out to his teammate. That time it was over to Mist. You keep the defender guessing about when that pass is going to come. Is he going to pass it closer towards the box? No. Easy dump pass to Mist, and EnVy tie it up. Atomic, right off the kickoff again. That touch won't really be forthcoming for EnVy.
I'm just going to continue to hit that drum that this is all Atomic. And yeah, I realize he's at the bottom of the scoreboard right now, but his decision-making is so crucial right now for EnVy. He's putting him up, he's tying the game up. It's just beautiful to see, and Justin baits out the entire defense, but can't sneak it in the far post, and Garrett G gets a filthy dunk, but good save there from the defense.
Oh, and Garrett, another bump in front, starting to get more chippy when he comes across the goal line. He sets up Squishy for a shot. Garrett on the rebound, runs into Atomic, but EnVy are still pushed in front of their own box. A whiff by Turbo will just allow Atomic to come in and get the clear for EnVy. Forcing Garrett off, or forcing Squishy off the ball. NRG get the ball back.
I like that challenge there from Turbo, just jumping in front of Justin, taking away a few of those opportunities. Then a good dunk there from Mist to send it back towards midfield. And NRG starting to get a little comfortable here in EnVy's half, as Justin going to launch this up towards the ceiling, get the second touch, trying to dunk Mist, but a great read by Mist in the book by Garrett. Can't go in the back of the net. And that's one thing, when you're playing any of these teams from North America, you just have to keep your head on a swivel because someone is rotating through that back end looking for a bump or a demo.
And they might want to swing their camera once more because Turbo's in the air in front, but the backboard is clean for Justin. Got by Mist as well. Now Atomic left alone to deal with Garrett, but he's flipped it right over him. No problem. Mist found a pass to Atomic. The dump to Turbo, blocked by Squishy. Mist collects that mid boost and turns tail to run. Atomic grabbed the ball in midfield and might set EnVy up for another push. Mist challenge isn't really a good one for Turbo, but he got one back from Squishy anyway, and now it's just a lot of bumps off the midfield line, maybe a bump on the goal line for both teams, Subi. They don't feel like they have the hole to work with. Justin waits for that ball to come down, but Turbo puts it over him. Both teams looking for the game-leading goal.
Oh, Turbo was looking for that little redirect there. He's narrowly missing his hood, and I think EnVy's finding success here because they're constantly making NRG second-guess themselves on defense. Like, hey, is this a shot coming out? Is he looking for a pass? And they're not showing their hand until the very last second, which is forcing NRG to stay down on the ground, and it's opening up and creating opportunities for themselves. It's beautiful to watch right now, but right now, EnVy has to focus on defense as Mist gets a great booming clear into the orange half. Everyone
low on boosts for EnVy. 2 players under 25 and 1 player under 50. You've seen NRG take a lot of the boost away from EnVy, and now they're just forced up onto their walls on the ground. Atomic, though, finds his way out of what was a scramble of NRG cars on offense. Turbo wins another 50, and even when it looks like NRG finally got them on the ropes, they somehow find the one challenge that gets them out on the play. They gotta stop it one more time. Justin, full thread through Turbo. Squishy can't find his way in. NRG, do they have another one? No, nothing left in the chamber.
It's open.
Turbo throws it to Mist at the end of the game, and EnVy has stolen the lead from NRG.
NRG thought they had this game in the bag, pushed all the way forward, and all it took was a long clear downfield, open net. See you later. This kickoff, so crucial, Jorby.
And they keep it in the air. That's the only way. They got to kick it up. Atomic did so, but nobody from EnVy can receive. And Turbo, well, that one might not do it. Actually, he gets an incredible dunk. Can he chase the ball down? Squishy kills it. And that will do it. I don't know why Turbo wanted to play that one so hard, but just making sure that ball would stay on the ground, and Squishy couldn't do anything about it. So EnVy take game 2, Subi, and woo, that looked, they were pressed several times, and even in low boost situations, they were still able to win those tough challenges where NRG were starting to create man advantages.
I'm just in disbelief right now that Team EnVy scored with basically 0 seconds on the clock there. And NRG just got so confident. I don't understand why they did that with a tie game. I mean, great offensive output here in game number 2, but at the end of the day, the passing plays from Team EnVy were the big difference makers.
I mean, they probably felt a little frustrated. They had an outpouring of offense earlier on. They put on, what, 9? I think it was 9 shots on net. So the offense was there, but then at the end, when you felt like you'd finally beat him in the boost game, you finally beat him on a couple of challenges, okay, now we can really actually push forward. Let's get a couple chips. Let's try to find a demo. But one thing went wrong here, another thing went wrong there, and the ball sails into the back of your net, Stubby. So game 3, something's got to change up for NRG, but this is close, and it's going to be that kind of fight the rest of the way through this match.
I think it's time for Justin to take over. He's got to have that mindset here of, if we're going to be successful, I need to 1v3 the defense right now. I need to do whatever it takes for my team to win this game. Just take the leash off of him. If he calls you off the ball, let him call you off, and just see if he can will NRG to victory.
And this isn't exactly, out of form for NRG, as weird as it is to say. They tend to do this during best-of-7 matches, where a couple of matches, they're not winning all their 50s. They try to stretch the field a little too often if they get frustrated with their offense, but then they always turn it right back.
Right.
They always figure it out, at least midway through the match. So maybe the time is now. The time has to be now. Down 2 games.
I would love to see NRG not give their opponents a handicap like they're playing golf, and it starts right now as Squishy keeps the pressure on and puts a nice hard shot into that upper 90.
Turbo, I mean, it's just not the touch you want if you're Turbo. I think he was maybe expecting a challenge to come quicker. By the time I switched over to his cam, he was already flying into the goal line, but nobody was there for NRG, and so Turbo trying to keep that ball out of the net. Tough assignment there, but Garrett can't quite beat Mist to the ball. It's a good start for NRG, Subi. EnVy have kind of had their number in the first 2 games, so to start with a lead at least gives you a little bit of confidence outside of the first minute. NRG on their own half.
You're at least changing the script a little bit. At least you scored first here in game number 3. Now you just kind of have to keep the Wolves at bay, and it's a hard ask as Atomic goes up, Mist goes down, and the shot goes in for Team EnVy.
This is perfect from EnVy. First, Atomic. Everybody waiting. Squishy going down because Justin committed on the play, but he's already beat. And Mist, as he approaches, he sees both NRG cars. Both are shaded to his right, and he's got all the length in the world to go left. It's the easiest shot in the world for Mist. All the work was from Atomic again.
Oh.
But there's Mist, that time from Turbo. Hey, feed the machine, and he'll deliver.
My goodness, this pass from Turbo is absolute filth. You do not expect it as a defender. It goes right over your head, and that's going to be the easiest one of the day for Mist. And right now, the name of the game for NRG has to be Let's Stop Mist, because out of 8 goals, he has 7 of them.
But like for the challenge, like Turbo's pass, like Squishy, his path, he went wide, like Turbo was going to play it to the corner, but he definitely had an angle where Squishy could have straight up challenged Turbo in that play. But instead tried to go for the catch away from him to steal that ball away, maybe create a quick transition. Either way, that corner, I felt like it could have been better handled by Squishy. And EnVy have this lead now as Squishy able to shake the ball out once, and Mist gets the catch in midfield.
Squishy taking off the field there as Spawn's backside allows Garrett to push forward. And Turbo's going to push this back into his own half. Great back pass there, but good challenge from Squishy. And that's just not going to cut it if you're NRG. Like we've been talking about, Jorby, you got to show something else. You got to keep the defense guessing, and that's a great way to do it. Keep the pressure on, keep the 50-50s up, and Garrett G doing a great job with this challenge.
Look at that scoop. Won that initial challenge, got a hard touch. He knew he had Justin on the read in front, and nobody was back for EnVy. I'm not exactly sure where that broke down, but Mist was on the assignment against Garrett. and he had to be the one to buy more time for EnVy. They just couldn't get it done. So EnVy with Mist again, trying to get the lead back. Getting the demo on the last man could give Turbo that opportunity. He gets the double, but Garrett hops right on top of the ball for the save.
I did not think he had that angle. That was a great save by Garrett. Respecting the shot that could have come out from Turbo, and that indeed did come out as Atomic and Mist combined powers to pinch that ball into the orange half. And as we get into the second half here, Jorby, I'm really curious to see if EnVy tries to slow things down or if they're going to try and speed things up and play to the, the strength of NRG, which is that speed. But right now, EnVy's doing a much better job at it.
Oh, but look how aggressive Justin's playing. He doesn't want to slow down. They will get up there and challenge the ball several times speedy out of midfield. And
I don't know if Justin knows how to play anything other than fast.
Well, he slows down as soon as he touches the ball. It's like as soon as he gets the first touch on the wheel, he's like, yeah, now I can do everything I want to do, but I got to get to the ball first. And the boost button held down until he gets there. But his approach is so consistent in that sense, but he's being pushed against the backboard here. And got the save right down in front of him. Turbo shuffled Justin off the ball, but it didn't really mean much. NRG still got the clear out. EnVy gonna sit back on this next play as Justin takes to the sky. Goes off the ceiling, swings back in, but nobody from NRG could be there. All the work that Justin had to buy time, and if buying time is all he needed to do, well then great job, Justin. Here comes Squishy on the push. Something under miss, Squishy can't do it. The rebound, Justin or Garrett, I think they got tied up for a moment about who was gonna go for that ball. And Garrett pushed it out to the side. Still they're pushing EnVy in front. Oh, Mist beat Squishy to the ball. And Garrett will kick it back. EnVy, you saw all of them taking an advanced position there. They got to be careful because Justin's threading the needle here.
Yeah, but that looked exactly like the end of game number 2 there, where NRG was starting to cheat forward. And if EnVy got that touch, that was going in the back of the net. And a whiff there is going to turn it over. And Mist is up. He's looking for a flip reset. And Justin there at the last second to keep this ball game all tied up.
He just let it drop. He's like, watch, this one's gonna go in. I'm not gonna do anything. Just let's go of the controller. I thought he had him beat on it. He's gonna take it again. Slips around one, but Justin is there in the net to boom it downfield. NRG need a goal. They need something. Otherwise, this may be too far a climb for them to get out of. Overtime, they need this golden goal.
Yeah, we all know how rare a reverse sweep in a game 7 is. I don't even know the last time one is.
It doesn't happen.
It just doesn't. Yeah, you don't want to put yourself in that situation. This game 3 is so important for both of these teams. NRG needs this win if they want to keep themselves in this series, and EnVy want the win badly to try and put NRG to bed, as a little miscommunication is going to lead to a turnover. But Turbo puts the shot on target, but no follow-up there for Team EnVy.
NRG are very happy there was no quick follow-up to Turbo's touch there. They were caught dead in the rotation on that push on the rebound. Justin, his last few touches haven't been, perfect touches. Oh no, Justin can't make a perfect touch every time, but...
Oh, that's dangerous.
No way. Is that in? Oh, it's off the post, but Mist got the rebound. Can they make the save? Yes, and Squishy's the only guy who can follow it up. He keeps it close. Fine time for NRG to get set on the rotation. Oh, there have been a few close calls for NRG. Closer than they would like. Turbo gets a demo on the back end, but Squishy will keep NRG's half clean, or at least get time for the respawn to come through. Turbo, the clear route denied by Justin, who got the catch, but Turbo's all over him on the play. Not going to give him any sort of space to work with. Pass in front of Justin again, and Mist picks up the save. Turbo got no boost. He has to sit here in the corner and try to beat Garrett to the ball, but Garrett gets in front of him. Atomic has to force Justin up to the air. Squishy was initially second man on the play. Justin again, slowing it down with the massive 50 that Atomic sends up to the sky. And no one from NRG can follow that ball. So it's a perfect touch for Atomic to give EnVy just a little bit of breath. But here come NRG again, Subi.
That was a great read by Atomic, going up towards that point of contact to get that challenge in midair. As great catch on that back wall from Squishy. And right now, NRG looking very strong, but it's looking like they're very susceptible to those long clears over their head again that could end the game in an instant.
Got to be careful on each push. Somebody has to be on that assignment, covering that last option that EnVy could pick, that could send NRG a match point. Mist flutters it up the Turbo, and it's blocked again. Justin, huge save, but Atomic gets back in front of it. Squishy, can he keep the push going? He can barely hang on to the ball. And Mist throws another one up to Garrett G, but this is EnVy's possession right now. Justin, last man to handle the ball on the backboard, and Atomic, the ball slips through him. Mist finding Turbo, and EnVy get the ball back again, Stubby. Turbo hopping over Garrett, under Squishy. Mist got the shot and diving for it is Squishy on the save. Still it continues, and Turbo bought time for EnVy to go get boost, Stubby, so it doesn't matter.
Oh, NRG withstand that storm coming out from EnVy, and it all started with that incredible save from Justin coming out of the top of the net. That was insane, but they're still not out of the woods just yet as EnVy just continues to lay the pressure on thick, and Justin narrowly avoids the bump coming from Turbo Pulsa. And here, Justin has pressure and numbers, but a smart demo there from Mist.
Turbo's feeling it right now. He's gotten a lot of dangerous touches in front. He's even getting bumps now on the back line, clearing the path for Mist to push forward into the box. Can't quite get the bump or touch against Squishy, but still, here comes Turbo, and it gets to the net! Turbo puts NRG on match point!
And where did all this boost come from? He follows this up, and he doesn't even feather it. He just holds it down, goes straight towards that ball, and game, set, match. Team EnVy putting NRG on match point.
Well, EnVy, I think you've made quite a statement to all of Twitch chat out there. The votes going in NRG's favor. Apparently the votes must be inversely proportional to NRG's power as a team. The more Twitch chat votes for NRG, the worse it gets for them, Subi. Apparently, because it's 3-0 EnVy. I mean, I honestly, for me, again, it was Turbo Pulsa. Yes, Atomic had some great carries from his own half. He even had a nice pass to Mist earlier in the game. But Turbo is the most annoying player on the pitch right now when it comes to carrying the ball, winning 50s, and chipping that second or third man in midfield on the goal line. Is like, oh, you think you're going for the ball? No, no, no. Get out. Get out of the play. This is my pitch.
I mean, I honestly don't think there's a better player in the league than Turbo at spacing. Like, he just knows where to be, when to be there, and how to take opportunities away from his opponents. Like, he realizes, oh, if I don't give this guy space, Justin, if you don't give him any space, he can't do much with this ball. So I'm just going to go and challenge him. And it's showing right now. They are just suffocating NRG, and it looks like NRG can't get any offense unless they catch EnVy out of net.
EnVy, one more game to go to get the clean sweep into the grand final. Then the only way NRG can get revenge is if they go on a lower bracket short tear and meet EnVy for the salty run back. NRG would rather be in the grand final now. So the journey of the reverse sweep starts right now, but Justin can't quite pick Mist off the defense. Garrett wraps back around. Mist, well, the save off the ceiling will be good for Atomic, but this is going to be a push for NRG. Can they collect on this? They have not been able to capitalize at all. In fact, they've had they have no room to work with. Overall, this is the most space they've gotten. How many rebounds have they gotten clean off the backboard, Subi?
NRG needs to pull out their drivers. Every single one of these balls they've hit with a pitching wedge, just going really high, really slow, just lofting it up. And I mean, tons of shots in net, or on net rather, in the first minute of gameplay. And they can't break through that really stingy EnVy defense.
Mist in front midfield again. I mean, they're all over midfield, not just Mist or Atomic. Mist. You can always count on him to place the ball in the exact spot that he needs to for the goal.
It was a team bump. Boop. Sorry, Garrett.
No.
No. Yep. You know that he's saying my bad, but that
no, Squishy said, hey, Garrett, you want to see what it feels like to be on a pogo stick? Just like, here you go. Boop.
Oh, my. NRG, I mean, this does not look like the same NRG that we have seen the past 3 days.
But this is EnVy. This is the same EnVy.
True.
That plays against NRG almost every time. And throughout this whole stretch of all the matches these teams have played against each other, you know, NRG have done the same thing to EnVy, where it's always really close, but NRG seem to always pick up the last goal because their defense seems impenetrable. That time, if NRG have to stretch the pitch like that and they have to shoot from that angle on their last shot every time, how frustrated do you think they are every time they get to the blue half and they have to make saves like that? An excellent job on the save from Garrett, but they still can't get a touch past the midfield line, and Atomic just throws it back to Turbo.
Yeah, NRG just cannot figure out the rotations right now from Team EnVy. It just seems like, okay, we've got space, and that's when NRG hits it long when they should hold it close to their chest. And then when there's instant pressure, that's when NRG's trying to slow it down. And great challenge from Turbo, essentially pulling out 2 defenders there as Garrett forced to go back. Long pass downfield to Squishy. Double tap not there, and Turbo going to push it back. But again, NRG battering the crossbar and again going too high.
What is this? No, no. Absolutely not. Hang on a second. What happens? Justin, well, he didn't hit it. Garrett got it. Atomic still flying in the air for some reason. See ya, Turbo. I wanted to hit that ball into Squishy real quick for an NRG goal. To let them tie it up, because we can't sweep them that easily out of the tournament. That's how that went down.
And just think, I was just about to compliment EnVy's backboard defense,
and it turns into a fiesta, Scooby.
And again, Squishy going up towards that backboard, and maybe they've found an exploit. They've realized, hey, they are a little vulnerable up there, but NRG still look like they have issues. All 3 bunched up on that sidewall there. Thankfully, 50-50 didn't go astray, as Justin gonna come up and gonna rotate out and leave this ball. But hey, good idea there as Squishy was waiting for this challenge.
Can't quite shake it off Mist. Force that ball off Garrett, and EnVy get another long clear out. NRG forced back to their own half to progress forward. But EnVy also sitting back, and they'll wait for Justin. Turbo, well, just a little touch, barely counts. Atomic making this one awkward for Turbo. Not the best positioning for Mist, but Atomic bails him out of that play so they can spread out a little bit. That was looking pretty shaky for EnVy on defense. Justin's got no more boost left, and now it's left to Garrett in front. But this is not working for NRG. There's no passes. All right, we're going to launch the ball down the field or carry it. Oh, we got no boost. We got to leave. Oh, I misread how that ball was going to hit. Now we got to do it from our own half again. But there's no creativity here from NRG.
I mean, they just keep going towards left and right corners, up off the backboard, and that's a poor clear from Mist, and that's what we need to see more of. Infield pass. Yes, it was read very well by Turbo Pulsa, but eventually you're going to be pulling defenders out. They're going to have to respect the fact that you're looking for passes, taking them down a man on defense, and it's just going to create more and more opportunities. And final minute here in game number 4, Jorby. NRG has to play picture-perfect Rocket League if they want to keep themselves alive in this series.
And the guy you talked about at the very beginning of this match, Subi, Atomic, he's always been the guy I pointed at being, he's the reason EnVy win games, and he's also the reason they lose them. And here's Mist on the catch. Atomic has played solid, but Mist always delivers a quality performance. He sits at the top of the scoreboard for his team. The Turbo and Mist, though, or Turbo and Atomic, excuse me, slotting in very nicely. And they may push NRG to the very edge here. Turbo winning 150 for EnVy, but the rest of them gonna sit back. You don't want to overcommit here at the final stretch in regulation. Justin gets the touch out downfield, but nobody from NRG can follow it, and it comes here all down to a Squishy catch. Off the ceiling, Squishy. There's no one there. What are you gonna do with it? Garrett didn't feel confident in the pass, didn't have anything going for him. Overtime, Subi.
The tension is palpable right now, Jorby. Everything on the line for NRG. They do not want to have to try and make another lower bracket run, at this matchup. And you better believe if they're going to want to do it, they're going to have to go through Team EnVy, because whoever wins this matchup is going into the grand finals, and it's a long road for NRG.
EnVy, make the most of their positioning, even if it isn't optimal. Be able to hit it down close side when you're tight in your own corner to be able to get a hard clear out. Now NRG are forced the whole way back to retreat. They have to recover awkward balls like this across the backboard. And Garrett has to fight Turbo in his own half just for a chance to touch the ball. Mist gets slightly bumped on the play here. Garrett has to hop up and down. And now the demo actually smokes Squishy off the ball. Justin able to squeak out, but EnVy still have it beyond the midfield line.
Yeah, that demo actually favored EnVy there, because it's sending the player all the way back to their own defense. Both members, that's a dangerous one, as Justin cheated up and was leaving Squishy all alone on that back line. Thankfully, wins that 50-50, and a great read from Atomic there, snuffing out that play. He could sense it coming from a mile away.
Oh, not the best initial touch from Turbo, but a good clear or a good follow-up to neutralize the bad effect. Atomic makes another save. Atomic gets another touch against Garrett and kept the ball close to him. That's probably the best thing that could have happened to him on the play. And the challenge in front to Mist is down to Turbo. Mist takes that ball on his fall back to the corner. Now Turbo again, the shot stretches Justin on the play, flips it above the crossbar. Turbo can't find it. Atomic can't either. Squishy has the next save. NRG on their last life, on the last possible goal that they could score, otherwise being swept to the lower bracket. Here's Mist for the next push around the corner. Mist slowing it down and flips it right over Justin. Turbo already downfield, puts the shot up off the post, and here's the rebound. Here comes Atomic, kicked up way too high. Mist collects some boost and gets the heck out of the orange half.
NRG need to get at least one shot on net here to really relieve this pressure, because they are not out of the woods just yet. It's a dirty challenge there from Turbo, sends that ball to the right half of NRG's side, and a great demo from Atomic, going to give a lot of time and space to Mist as he's got Turbo waiting downfield. The shot's on target.
Mist. Oh, Atomic
can't follow it up, and Atomic does, sweeping NRG and propelling Team EnVy to the grand finals.
Chance 1, chance 2, chance 3. Ding, 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 ding. Atomic confirms the sweep on NRG through the upper bracket. They will be waiting in the wings of the grand finals.
Holy smokes, how many opportunities are you gonna give them? Eventually, one has to fall, and it all landed on the shoulders of the guy I brought up in game 1, Jorby. Atomic sends them back to the grand finals for the second time in a row.
I mean, dude, I'm sorry, they crushed them. Like, I know NRG had a couple of really nice chances, but yeah, they had tons of shots. 11 shots on net? I don't remember any of them.
I don't either.
The only goal NRG actually scored, Suvi, was the weird one where Atomic felt like he just had a 200 boost and was like, I'm just going to float in the middle of a box and then bump my teammate out of the way for Squishy to score. That was it.
Well, all of their shots were those nice chips going up way too high off the backboard, and yeah, you pull out a defender, but when the rotations are that good from Team EnVy, they're always going to have someone sitting on the goal line ready for another shot. They're just ready to go on defense.
I do not feel like EnVy sweat at all in that match. They sweep, they move on, they sit pretty, and get to watch Rogue versus Space Station coming up next. Who survives to go play NRG in the lower final? Find out after the break.